Hello everyone and welcome to State of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. This week we once again have a show. This time the live letter 40 has happened and we've gotten our first preview of patch 4.2 and 4.25, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. By the way, we also got Bear, so that's obviously a highlight of its own. But anyway, in order to do that show, we need people. So I'm one of your hosts, Michael, Mr. Happy Pulver. Of course, joining me is Slyh, aka Slythefox, aka Slyakagreyfox, aka my boy Blue. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Merkrum.
It's almost Mer birthday for me. Happy birthday.
I know.
Soon.
I know.
Bet you can't guess what day my birthday is. There's no way you could know. Slyh, don't just sit there pretending not to know. They can't even see you yet. All right. Yeah. We also have a guest. We haven't had a guest for a few weeks. Merri's going to come on and talk to us about some stuff and some things.
He's going to or already has?
I mean, you're about to. You're about to speak.
You're right. I just did.
Yeah, exactly. Now you have. Now it's past tense.
I'm here.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Hi.
Welcome. Yeah. How you doing, Merri?
Doing okay. I'm doing okay.
You doing? Dude,
yeah, I punched my desk, but
I'm gonna. You know what? I'm glad I'm over here and you're over there. Then I don't know what I did. Don't know what I did to upset you. Good. All right, so today we're going to be talking about ups and downs from the live letter number 40, as well as predictions for the patch itself and expectations, all that good stuff. But before we get started, I think all of us have a thank you to give to. So, Slyh, what's that behind you?
He is the chocobo known as Buford T. Justice.
Buford?
Yes, Buford T. Justice. He was a present from the 14 community team. Thank you so much.
What does the T stand for? Theodore?
I don't remember what it stands for. I never found that out in any of the Smokey and the Bandit movies. I never found that out. I never paid attention to it. But yeah, his name is Buford T. Justice.
Merri, what did you name yours?
Big Boy. He's a big boy.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. The T stands for T. So I'm going to show mine in a sec. You can see his hat poking out right here. I have my green screen on, however, and despite the fact that the chocobo is yellow, when I have my green screen on, this actually it's not phasing all the way through. You guys will see it on the live stream itself, but he's like translucent with the green screen on. So I'm going to name him Casper. Since he's partially see-through, but you can still kind of, you can still see him, but you can kind of see to the other side as well. Or the Phantom Chocobo, like the Phantom Train. Either would work. If I want to give him like a real name like Casper, would you just clean his beak? Did he have some shit on his beak?
Yeah.
There you go. So, yeah. That's thank you, community team, for sending us these, as well as a card with some kind words as well.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
4 of you. So thank you. Matt, Lux, Aya, and Reinhardt. Did Reinhardt draw you guys? He drew me a Subligar.
Sure did.
Yes, he did.
He drew. It was very well drawn.
It was.
It's very well drawn Subligar. One day I'll get a real Subligar. One day, and I'll wear it on stream. But I don't have legs, so I don't know how.
No.
I don't know how that's precisely.
Subligar cam.
Yeah. So we had the live letter. Finally.
And
we had some news. We've been waiting for this live letter for a pretty long time. It had a lot of ups, but it also had one major down that we will get to talk about in a little bit. For anyone who wants to follow by, if you go to the official dev tracker on the North American forums, we're going to be going down the list of posts there and hitting the points one by one on top of the stuff that came from the unofficial translation that was done by the Discord channel, which, by the way, thank you guys, as per always. So, you good? Slyh, you said 1 second.
Yep, there we go. We're good.
You got it? I thought you had it already. What happened? Did you hide it?
No, I closed that.
Oh, and you also posted
it. You lost it.
You posted it in the chat. Yeah. I see what you did. I see what you did there. So, first off, we have the title of the patch. The Rise of a New Sun.
Did you guys get anything from this? Because I couldn't find.
For me,
Doma.
For me, it's the reinstatement of Doma as a city state because it's the new sun, and also Hien will now officially be the leader, and he was the son of the previous leader, so it's the new sun. He did it. Yeah. But what was really weird for me is the artwork in the foreground is all Omega characters. Despite the fact that Rise of a New Sun, I don't think has anything to do title-wise with Omega. Unless, one of the Final Fantasy bosses is going to be related to Sun. To the Sun. From Omega. From the Sigmascape. Which we'll get to do predictions for and stuff a little bit later on. Yeah, it's just really weird to me. It didn't make any sense.
They wanted to show off Alpha.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that they wanted to show off Alpha in his Garland Ironworks outfit that was almost definitely made by. I always forget which one's Biggs, which one's Wedge of the two. Biggs is the little one.
No, Biggs is the big one.
Biggs is the big one. I thought they did it ironically.
Nah.
No. Okay. I always forget which one's which since I don't interact with them very often.
Yeah, which is not fun.
It specifically
and speaking of Alpha, can we get a plush of that, please?
Are you saying you don't appreciate?
Wow. He's right there, Sly.
That's fucked up.
He can hear you.
I'm just saying, I want Alpha
Look
too.
how sad
I
he
want
looks.
all the things.
Look at how sad he looks. It's just the same fucking face the whole time. No, I swear he's frowning more than he was before. There you go. And it says its debut will be late January, so that rules out the first week of February like I was hoping for. Unfortunately, we've all but confirmed the patch day because they also announced when the next 2 live letters will be. January 19th and February 10th will be the next 2 live letters. And we've had 100% accuracy with this so far, but the servers go down 10 days after the last live letter, and then they come up on the 11th day. So servers will go down January 29th and come back up on the 30th.
We're screwed.
We're screwed. Time-wise, yeah. Monster Hunter will not even remotely be done with that by, Dissidia, Dragon Ball Fighter Z. No, this is whatever. Fuck it.
Good thing I'm buying Monster Hunter on PC in like 6 years.
Man. Come on. Can you do it on the 23rd? And can we just push it ahead 7 days? Fuck it. All right. Well, we're screwed. We're all screwed at the end of January, everyone. So have fun being screwed.
Not me.
Some of you won't be screwed. We'll go over why in a little bit. So some of you may have somewhat of a reprieve with some of the news we have to come later. Next is new main scenario quests take place in Doma. What are we really gonna say here? We even just covered that's the whole point of the title, despite the fact that it has all Omega characters. I mean, don't get me wrong, in the back are all the other characters, but all the Omega characters are up front. Newest side quest. Now this is the first thing we got wind of that was like, odd that they're doing this. So 4.2 will have the Hildebrand series being continued. If you guys haven't finished it, we've already gotten rid of spoiler warning, so I'm gonna spoil it right now for what's gonna happen in the next one. Our boy Greg is back. Our boy Greg is back in the story. I think we all want to see him go up against Yojimbo, but we don't know if it's going to go in that direction just yet. However, they said Hildebrand is now going to permanently be moved to the 0.5 patch series. So 4.25, 4.35, 4.4, instead of 4.234. And however long they decide to continue it for. Why do you think they do that? Other than their reason for, they've said they like spreading out content now across patches so people have more of a reason to log in over the course of time. But I think with the other thing coming out in 0.25, I'm surprised that Hildebrand would be considered even something that's worth keeping your sub up and not just bringing it back for the next main series, personally. So what's the thoughts on that? 0.25 for Hildebrand.
I mean, the obvious answer is what you said, where it's just spreading out content. But I honestly don't know otherwise. I can't really think of any reason besides that why they would do that.
Unless they want to highlight Hildebrand a little bit more, and the only way we can do that is on an off patch, like a 4.5-ish
I suppose.
I
kind of giving him his spotlight.
I wonder if they're just setting the precedent for 5.0 in a sense, because one of the things that happened with Hildebrand, what they keep doing with Hildebrand is they keep finishing it And then they go, well, if people ask for it, then,
But we always ask for it.
I mean, I'm of the opinion that if you're going to do it like you did at the beginning of 3.x, you can just stop it altogether. They only had some funny patches towards the end, but it was overall. By the way, Merri, I could still kind of hear myself coming through yours.
Oh.
Yeah. Just wanted you to know. And I think it's just because now if they set the precedent here that it'll be in 0.5 patches, when 5.0 comes around, people won't expect it till 5.15, and then it won't be shit like it was in 4.1 pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only... I have to wonder if they're just setting the precedent for side story quests in the future to expect them in 0.5 patches. It takes away from doing the main story, or it's a distraction from the main story, or there's other stuff to do. That doesn't fly with me. It's like the people who are doing the other things obviously are prioritizing them first. So if someone's prioritizing Hildebrand first, then they're prioritizing Hildebrand first. It'll all get done eventually anyway.
Who out there prioritizes Hildebrand though?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like,
exactly.
I've never. Yeah.
But that's even more the point. Like, you'll get to it. It's not like it takes more than an hour anyway. So
yeah, I've never felt like he was a distraction.
If they give me trials in the 0.5 patches, I'm down. But even then, I know I'll beat that trial in one try because it's Hildebrand. I'm not expecting it to be like extreme difficulty or anything. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and I'm sure they learned their
that would
lesson
be nice.
from content designing.
Yeah.
In ARR versus now, so.
Yeah, very much so. So Hildebrand will be 4.25. We also know the Ananta are the next Beast Tribe. I don't think that's any surprise. They don't say whether or not they're crafters. I'm kind of just assuming they're battle. I don't think.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for them to be crafting, because for crafting we've never had really like. Actually, that's a lie. With the Ixali, we did have like the good Ixali and the bad Ixali, but it'd make more sense for battle because we have the purple snakes versus the blue snakes.
And we have both of their bases right next to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, we had that with the Ixal. We had the Ixal logging grounds just to the west of the thing.
But that wasn't really like a...
Yeah, that's not Nadalin. That's a little bit different. For me, it's more so that it's just like I feel like at this point, if they're gonna tell us if it's gonna be a crafting beast tribe or not. When Moogles and Ixal were first revealed, they immediately told us they were crafting beast tribes.
Yeah.
This they didn't say anything. So
and the crafting is always later in the expansion too.
Yeah, it was the 0.5 patch for the Ixal, I want to say, or 0.4. No, it was the point. Maybe it was the 0.4. I don't remember.
0.4 or 5.
I think it was 2.4 because it was 2.1 was they did two of them. Actually, you know what? It might have been earlier than that because wasn't 2.1 two of the beast tribes? Wasn't it Amalja or was it just the Amalja? No, I think it was just the Amalja. Yeah, it was just the Amalja. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember the order that it went in for the 2.x series. I know Amalja were 2.1, and I know Ixals were the last. And then they did the Allied Beast Tribe eventually in like a 0.5 patch. But the Ananta, I'm going to bet they're combat beast tribes, which is good. I've been using the current ones to level my other jobs right now, so I'll have a little bit more come that time.
So happy what you're saying is we're going to have to wait until 4.5 for you to level your crafters?
No, 4.3. I'm going to assume it's going to be like the Moogles, which is 3.3, and these will be... And then the craft, whatever, like the Namazu helping rebuild...
probably the Namazu.
Namazu helping rebuild Doma or some shit. Who knows?
Yeah.
Something... the city where the Monzin, the city Monzin that's right outside of Doma.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd like to rebuild that. There's also a Namazu house somewhere out in Yenjia. I don't think it's there. I think it's someplace else. But,
no, it's in Yaja.
No. I mean, Monzin versus being located someplace else.
Yeah, I got you.
So I'm hoping the Namazu have a base in Namzin or in Monzin somewhere. All right, so those are some of the little things. We get 2 dungeons this patch also.
Yep.
We're back to that. Hell's Lid, which is the volcano on the southern side of the Ruby Sea. Surprised to see that.
Yeah, a little bit.
A dungeon.
I always felt like they had to do something with it because it was such a big landmark, and it was just kind of there.
I mean, we have other landmarks that are big, and they just kind of hang out.
I suppose, but usually when they have something big, like for example in Yanja, there's that like big tomb for the Emperor. I'm sure that's going to be a dungeon.
Yeah, that'll be like 0.4 or 0.5, if anything.
But like a lot of the stuff like that, I feel like they do a pretty good job of telegraphing like, hey, this will maybe be a dungeon. I thought they're going to do something with Hell's Lid, so I wasn't too surprised.
So according to the chat, 2.1 was the Amalja and the Sylph, 2.2 was the Kobold and the Saga, and 2.3 was the Ixal. So I'm going with that. I'm going with 4.3 being the crafting beast tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't too surprised with Hell's Lid being a dungeon, at least this early. I was surprised with the look of Hell's Lid.
It's Tastasha 2.0, man.
Yeah, a little bit.
It looks so far different from what you see on the outside.
Yeah,
just,
with all the
volcano
lava
and death, and it looks like a hot spring on the inside.
Ludi says Ixal was 2.4. I don't know what to believe anymore.
Don't judge a book by its cover, Sly. Come on.
Yeah. Or a volcano.
Don't judge a volcano by its lava.
Did you just assume that volcano's gender?
What?
I kind of did.
Kind of did. See, I caught him in the act.
Yeah.
Caught him in the act. Yeah, I guess the chat's like, wouldn't it be Tastasha 3.0 because we had hard mode? Nah, because it's the same place.
Mm-hmm.
This is a different place that just looks similar to it. But yeah, it looks totally different. So I'm kind of curious. I don't normally look forward to the little previews of the dungeons in particular on the load zone where it's like one picture and then the duty finder description. But I actually want to know what the hell is like Hell's Lid. What the hell is in there?
Yeah.
If it's like those the demon Ananta again, like from Samal. You got to remember those were Ananta.
Yeah.
Those were Ananta in Samal, but they were like demonized in a way. They're called Ananta.
Yeah, like the lava snake things. They have those outside Hell's Lid too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if it's like a tribe of the Ananta that, I don't know. Because the thing is, we've seen them in Samal, which is to the far west, and then here is all the way to the east. So I've been wondering about the Demon Ananta since we first saw them back in Samal. I like that, Demon Anta. Just all one word. I like it. Yeah. It's just the lid. It's not actually in hell. I'd say the bigger surprise for me was Fractal Continuum hard mode.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Throughout
Big tomboy.
all of 3.x, and it might have been because it was alongside Never Reap at first, so maybe it just like by default I love that dungeon more, but I never got tired of that dungeon all throughout 3.x. If I ever got it in a roulette, I was like, cool. That's it.
It's elegant. It's so cool. I love the aesthetic.
Well, I mean, it's even more elegant now because we are for the first time ever engaging in combat with a giant tombstone. Giant USB stick tombstone was the only boss that they showed an image of.
Yep. If it's a boss, it could just be like a trash thing.
It could be a trash thing, but either way, we're fighting giant tombstones. And if the tombstone doesn't then drop tombstones, which a boss would, I'd be upset.
So we're fighting currency.
We're fighting current. Like, I think Rowena might have actually made this place.
Yeah, the real enemy.
It's like a pinata.
Yeah, the real enemy is Rowena. We fight Rowena at the end of the dungeon.
Yeah, according to the description that we were given for Fractal Continuum hard mode, is that all the experiments broke free somehow, and we don't know how. So we're gonna have to go find out. So yeah, that's another thing. What other experiments were they keeping in tubes that we couldn't see? They already had the original Ixals in there. Someone in the chat pointed out there's an Ananta in one of the tubes.
Well, we already know about that because that's what the Lamia are.
Yeah, that's what the Lamia are. They're Anantas that were chimerically. they're chimeras.
With the void stuff.
Yeah, with they're So, I what else are they hiding? What else are they hiding? I mean, I'll do these dungeons once and then not do them again. But that's besides the point. Like, maybe I'll have to do them again because we'll have a new tombstone, which we also got the name for here, Mendacity, which means untruth. I think it means
tombstones of lies.
Yeah, it basically means untruthfulness in a sense. But I also just like to say farming men. Hallelujah. Yeah, listen. They brought this upon themselves by doing this. I like how their history records their lies. Here are all of our lies. Let's write all these down so we can make sure that if we need to lie again, that we don't forget what our lie was. But we have written proof that we lied.
So fake money?
Yeah. Is it like, does it not count?
Yeah.
No, it's not money in the first place. It's just their historical writings. They got a lot of writings everywhere, and why certain bosses have them, I'll never know because they're not Allagan at all.
Yeah,
Allagans are in everything. There you go. We also got the new trials. We have indeed confirmed our other Jesus prediction in that the 4 gods on the minimap are indeed going to be the next 4 primals. They're the 4 lords. The first one will be Byakko in the Jade Stoa and the Jade Stoa Extreme. And we already know Seiryu, Suzaku, and Genbu would be the other 3, and 4.3, 4.4, and 4.5, respectively. I remember somebody mentioned that one of the Dragoon quests in Heavensward, Seiryu, is actually referenced at some point. I think it was like the 54 or 56 Dragoon quest. They reference a great dragon worshipped in the East by called Seiryu. So that's what it is. We have to figure out what the story is behind it. But all my question for you guys is, where's Unukalhai, man? And does he have anything to do with this?
It's a good question. It's a really good question.
They set up Unukalhai as this sidekick to Elidibus, who was pulled from, I think, the 13th shard, the World of Darkness shard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just it. He's just standing in a room somewhere now.
Yep.
Do you think this will have a lot of Ascian involvement, though? I don't see it as
probably
having a lot of...
Almost any primal's some degree Ascian influence, because they have to teach them how to worship them and how to summon them with ether, and it's just a means to an end with them. So yeah,
probably. Yep.
I'm glad we ended up being right about that, and it now means that I will take the minimap literally every chance I get.
Yeah.
I see anything on the minimap, I'm assuming
we're gonna get Godzilla in 5.0.
Exactly. We're gonna get Godzilla. It's gonna happen. He's there. Mothra, Godzilla, Mecha Godzilla, Super Mecha Godzilla. I'm just gonna keep going. There's like 8 different versions of Godzilla.
Well, they're Guardians. They can make it. Magitech Godzilla.
There you go. A Magitech Godzilla. I'm down. I'm sure most people would be down.
Hell yeah.
So we got Byakko first, and then we have the Sigmascape, which I don't think any of us guessed correctly, because that's like the 18th letter of the Greek alphabet. But we are working our way towards Omega, which we figured the Omega Scape would probably be the end.
Yeah.
Hey. Get it? So, I have one question for both you gentlemen. The obvious question. Who are the bosses? We all know that it's gonna be from previous Final Fantasy game, and
I know mine, and I got some stuff for mine. But what about you, Sly?
I'm saving 7 bosses for...
No, they're not going to use those towards the end, because those can't just do that, because they have we got to fight Omega.
7. It's 7. It's going to be 7.
It's not going to be 7.
It can't be 7.
I think it's going to be 7.
It's not going to be 7.
No. It's too early on for it to be 7. I think the hype...
It's never the right time for 7, first of all. Second of all, I think they're going to go with something that actually has 4 set bosses. Like a theme of 4 set bosses, in that of Cagnazzo, Scarmiglione, Rubicante, and Barbarisha from Final Fantasy IV, or the 4 Fiends from Final... I think you're more likely to see 4 bosses that actually fit together, and I think that Rubicante can be done. He can't be a Neo X-Death, is the thing. He's not worthy of being a Neo X-Death, which is the only concern that I run into here if they do the Final Fantasy IV themes. The Arc Fiends or the Lich or something like that. I don't think we see a Sephiroth. I don't think they go that route. I think as much as they like to do this bullshit, or they're using this bullshit as a means, and I said this earlier, I'm infuriated with the way Omega is done. I like Omega's story. I'm infuriated with the way, because just how fucking lazy do you have to be? Oh yeah, no, we just make up bullshit stories, just add bosses. We're like, oh, everything has to make sense in our world. The good thing about Omega is nothing makes sense, so we can do whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, well, that's why it could be 7.
That's why it could be, but I hope it isn't, because that's... I don't know.
Well, so here's the thing, right?
I wouldn't be excited at all if they just did that again.
So we have a mount, usually, not always, as A8 showed us, but usually we get a mount from the raid. They increase the mount speed everywhere.
You want
for ground mounts, and one of their big things about adding that motorcycle. Cloud's bike was that they didn't want to do it because it looked too slow, but now everything moves faster.
But the problem is you just assumed everyone has the move speed increase, which you can't.
Well, everyone got a baseline one.
Yeah, but that's still slow as dicks.
Not really.
It's pretty slow. As soon as I got the speed upgrades, I was like, "This, I can't do this. This is." As soon as I got to the second tier, I was like, "I need this. I need this." You know, it's another reason I don't want it to just be ripped from previous Final Fantasies. Soken does not get to shine when they just pull bosses from previous Final Fantasies.
I mean, he gets to remix the music. Like the
It's
new
not-
Extet stuff was cool.
It was okay, but it's nothing compared to like
It's true. I mean, him making his own stuff is.
like when I think of Calamity Unbound or I think of Rise or any of those.
Oh, absolutely. No, I agree.
It's very different than him remixing the old school Final Fantasy IV themes or stuff like that. And I
agree.
It was the same with Tactics. It was great, all the reorchestrated versions of the Tactics music, but I would have loved to have heard something new from Soken as opposed to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that with Shinryu, it was the same theme twice, so it wasn't like I got a new Primal theme or anything. I just haven't been super excited with the music in 4.0, 4.1, like from a oh shit, I would listen to that again standpoint.
Yeah, a lot of it's been just stuff it's just remix stuff.
Yeah, it's
just nothing like new.
Yeah, I mean there's some new. It's just it's not like Titan new or not like
Yeah.
So honestly, at this point, Susanoo, I don't like that song that much, but that's for me is at this point my highlight musically is Susanoo.
What about Shinryu?
I've had this discussion with Slyh before. I still like Thornton's theme a million times more than
Shinryu's theme is so good. We're gonna have Byakko. I'm sure he's gonna have awesome music.
I hope.
Yeah.
I hope he's a fucking tiger.
Yeah, dude, I gotta get my height that day.
Shut up. Too many fucking Final Fantasy 11 players making that joke.
But Merri, to answer your original question, what I want to happen, I'm gonna go 8. I want to fight Ultimecia. That'd be nice.
Somebody posed the thought in the chat that Omega showed an interest in pitting hero versus hero, and that it potentially is more likely the hero. That still aggravates me, but it doesn't aggravate me as much for some reason as just pulling like 4 village straight. I just want original bosses. I don't know. I'm not a fan of, let's just make up some bullshit story and here you go. I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me, like as a method of, because then all the bosses have no impact. There's nothing to. You're not like, we foiled their plans.
We know the 4th boss will have an impact always because
Exdeath had no relevance. There's nothing special about it.
Gameplay wise, it had an impact, but like
we're talking story right now.
Yeah, like
story wise, I'll agree with you.
Exdeath, they were just like, there's some dude who wanted to use the void, and this, that's whatever the story says. Just go beat him.
Yeah, no, you're totally right on that. I will 100% agree that the story is just, it feels a little like weak because it's just we're just fighting things for the sake of fighting things. Like it's not...
I mean that's Omega's goal, but I just don't like it as an excuse to pull in old Final Fantasy bosses with no need for story explanation.
Yeah,
if you take it as what it is, which is Final Fantasy Bloodsport, that's like it. I'm not disappointed in the slightest.
I'd rather just, if you're gonna do it, just say fuck it and just like do something completely separate and just do it for every Final Fantasy. Because at this point now, whatever Final Fantasy doesn't get included in this next tier, you're not gonna get the 3rd tier can't fully be its own Final Fantasy game. There has, like, Omega is guaranteed to be one of those bosses plus 3 others. So
they should have just done Dissidia. We're just playing Dissidia.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that.
I mean, then again, we get a little bit of nostalgia sprinkled into dungeons and out in open areas and things like that. I mean, we don't have to sequester nostalgia to a raid. We see it.
We have it everywhere in Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, pretty much.
Doma's namesake, an entire city state, including Rabanastre, Doma, Dalmasca, all those places. Those are all ripped right from other games. But they're made something in Final Fantasy 14. They're not just like, that's canon with that now. Mm-hmm. Same with the Crystal Tower. It's like, this is Crystal Tower is one of the most important structures in like Allegan's history because it was eventually where the earthquake came down that ruined their entire civilization. That's relevant. That's cool. So when you fight Xande there, you're not like, whatever. You're like, okay, this was the Emperor and whatever, and it's all there. Not, hey, this dude, there's a story, and all right, fuck it. He's physical now. Just beat him. I said so do it.
Yeah.
So, the next question. When are we getting Sin? Because when we get Sin...
We have Sin. His name's Bismarck.
No, that's not Sin.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Maybe the next tier will be 10 and we'll get Blitzball.
They're both giant whales. I'll punch you in the mouth.
Nice segue.
There you go.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'll punch you in the mouth real quick. We'll get more information about Sigmascape Savage on the January 19th live letter, pretty much. Now, the next one is the big talking point for most everyone who is looking towards 4.2. There's one thing absent in 4.1 and 4.15 that has been nothing but the butt of jokes at this point, and that is the Forbidden Land of Eureka. We have a name for the first area that'll be available there, and that is the Anemos, or Anemos, whichever one it is. But they immediately said, this is planned. We are planning, not confirmed, to introduce this in 4.25. So for those of you audio-only listeners, you can picture the response physically there for those two.
Mm.
Thoughts?
4.3.
I'm of two minds.
4.3 from Slyh. And what was that, Merri?
I'm of two minds. Part of me is disappointed because obviously I've been waiting, and it keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed. And it's like, come on, we're not going to have any time to get our weapons at this rate. But the other half of me, trying to be reasonable, is I would much rather they get it right and take their time and make sure they get it right than for it to come out and be Diadem 3.0, 4.0,
Agreed.
whatever we're on now.
Well, then, let's take some of these official comments and see how you feel about how these would compare to Diadem in the first place. So this content will be a series. We were told that about the Diadem.
Yep.
Which ended up being one zone they reused the second time when it fucked up. And will be released as we continue through patches. We would like for players to enjoy this content with many players. Sounds like Diadem. And there are some leveling aspects here. Now, that's been clarified in that it's not a deep dungeon, but there is an entirely different progression sense inside of Eureka. So when you first go in there, you're a bitch-made motherfucker, basically. And you gotta work your way out of being that bitch-made motherfucker. You're not like, oh, I'm level 70 with max gear. I'm set. It's like if you were to walk into Palace of the Dead, your ether weapons are nothing.
Yeah.
We are planning to have players strengthen their weapons and gear inside Eureka. We did have it confirmed that relic armor is one of the things here. So for me, this is sounding just more and more like a Palace of the Dead type progression where you kill bosses and open chests and that increases your ether pool level kind of thing.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's what it sounds like to me. And then you can trade in that power for the armor and then you can upgrade it as you go. Along somewhere along those lines. Yeah. Within Eureka, players will encounter strong monsters such as notorious monsters. They've even mentioned some of those having really long respawns in the past. And finally, they'll be able to show more in the February 10th live letter, since that's between 4.2 and 4.25. And there's also, and it's a quote new system they haven't had before.
Long respawn timers makes me really nervous. I don't want to go back to the H&M days.
Well, I think of it, so when I think of long respawn timers, because it's not a game where you're competing, it's likely everyone who shows up is showing up. Think of it like an emergency mission, more in a sense. It reminds me more of Guild Wars 2, which had, in that case it's every 3 hours, but basically a giant boss that everyone teams up together to beat, which works fine in that game. And I think it can work fine here because you're not competing for the attention of the boss.
I suppose. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the bigger question for me is, how tied to your progression in Eureka are the long respawn bosses, because players with less time are then going to be the vocal ones about that. Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing that worries me is, have we been told whether this is instanced content or if it's open world?
I think it's similar to Diadem in that you zone in via like the duty finder, and then once you're in there,
and it creates an instance.
And it creates an instance, and then if the instance is full, it creates another one. And then how do you track these guys? You'd almost have to imagine that across all instances, the spawn is at the same time, so anybody and everybody could participate at approximately the same period. Yeah. But then if it spawns during a time of day, like then you what do you do for the initial spawn? Is it going to be at 3 a.m? When the servers come up 3 days later? Like, what? I don't know.
Lots of questions.
Yeah, there's still lots of questions about that. Slyh, how you feeling about it?
I'm withholding judgment until I actually see something concrete. I
go.
don't want to, give up on it too early just because of lack of information, which I was actually openly optimistic about Diadem, and then I got in. Yeah. And then we all got in, and yeah. So I'm gonna remain glass half full about this. Hopefully it'll be something I want to do to, keep my time within the game other than raiding. But I'll wait for the next live letter.
Live letter, no, not the next live letter. 2 live letters from now. February 10th. February 10th will be the live letter that talks about Eureka the Forbidden Land. We'd probably assume the first Tuesday of March would be the Eureka launch date for an approximation. For me, I'm not hesitant about the whole thing because it sounds like it's something that you'll want to spend a lot of time in, which I think is the main reason most of us were disappointed it got pushed back so far, because the 0.1 series are generally the series that have less things to do.
Yeah.
Unless they do something like this. And the Hidden Canals of Uznair was something that was more trying than it was exciting, I suppose. Yeah. It's gotten to the point where I'm really considering just going back and doing Aquapolis. Aquapolis still has a bunch of worthwhile loot in there.
Yeah, it does, and no one... Exactly.
And no one does it. And there's no, worrying about the second, tier of things where if I get a map or... I only have to worry about those 7 floors. And on top of that, you get to the 7th floor and the boss isn't... For some reason, people just forget how to play the game at the 7th boss of Lost Canals. I don't know what it is. And it just goes to shit. And that can't happen on the 7th floor of Aquapolis. There's other floors that are more troublesome than that. But I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. But too many questions still remain. And we need answers to a lot of them. February 10th, we will have our answers. After we've played the shit out of all those end of January games. February 10th, also Secret of Mana remake. Worth reminding. Hey, they showed off the multiplayer the other day. I'm looking forward to that. I played it. It's fun. It's just like the NES version. It's like the same thing, but better. Or more recent.
Yeah.
Job adjustments. They confirmed there will be job adjustments, which immediately made me halt 3 videos because I don't want to do something that's out of date.
Touch my warrior.
Merri, I remember seeing a tweet from you once this came out about a certain job. Ninja.
Nerf trick attack.
Very passionate.
First off, don't nerf it. Don't touch. I'll agree with you. Ninja is kind of broken, but don't touch trick attack. Leave that alone.
I'm okay with them. I think they just need to rework Enmity altogether for Ninja. I don't think 5.0 Smokescreen and Shadewalker are going to be fucking roll actions at this rate. They're going to be the shirks of the melee DPS at this point.
Yeah, the reason I call Ninja a broken class is because in pretty much any raid scenario, when you have to deal with something like Enmity, of course you're going to naturally take a Ninja. You don't have a Ninja, it just becomes exponentially more difficult. Enmity
does.
So
you'd think with the shirking that it would be fine, but as a monk, I can tell you it's not.
No. We didn't have a Ninja for a while. It was rough.
Yeah. So besides trick attack, what do you think they should do with Ninja, Merri?
I mean, I think they should cut trick attack by 5%. 5% trick is fine. 10% is a little much.
Okay.
Cut it down to 5%, maybe bump their numbers a little bit, and then maybe take away... Because, if we're going to add something to cross-roll, for example, if they were to take something from Ninja, I would rather they take Shadewalker and leave Smoke Bomb as a Ninja thing, and then give us something cool instead of Shadewalker.
Oh, they aren't going to give you anything cool. Not unless it's 5.0.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're talking
way in the future.
Yeah.
Let's talk about in the immediate future because they didn't even mention Ninja. You guys got on Ninja immediately. Ninja's not even one of the jobs.
I know. I mean, I don't think Ninja's going to be touched because they haven't touched it So this far, why would they touch it now?
And chat brings up the other interesting point that if you make the enmity tools roll actions, then you have both the melees do enmity, and then it's like, why even have enmity in the game?
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Either way, I mean, I want to see trait be bumped down like maybe 5%, and then just increase Ninja's DPS a little across the board. But I don't think it's gonna happen.
I think if they were to make changes to the enmity system overall, that Shadewalker and Smokescreen didn't fit. The problem is the reason why Shadewalker and Smokescreen are so good are because a lot of groups try to maximize time not in tank stance. If you're in tank stance the whole time, you don't need anything, period. But nobody fucking does that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, and for the and then again, and you have to think about it then for the players that already don't have issues with enmity because they do spend all their time in tank stance. For them, it's like double down, and they don't have anything else to worry about. And then for the people who do spend a lot of time in tank stance, that's so
it's really significant. Like, we didn't have a ninja, and O4S was a nightmare getting aggro after all the resets, and it's just like we get a ninja, suddenly 0 issues. It's just like it's really big.
Like, I'm a monk, and I diversion on cooldown when it lines up with things.
What's that? What's that?
It's the thing I need to not pull aggro, Slyh, because even with diversion during my burst windows and tank shirks, I still pull aggro in like 0102 half the time, or I come close to it at the very least, unless the tanks are forcing like evoke shirk on shirk cooldown and not just doing it when they are supposed to tank swap.
Yeah,
that's the only way that I don't pull aggro as a monk in situations like that. If I land one too many crits, I get one too many forbidden chakras, or anything along those lines, it's over for me. I've gotten killed by many a tank 1 or 01 Savage tank buster.
Yeah.
Just that quick tail whip too. Not even like the other one, the lightning bolt. Yeah, no, just the little
twin bolt. Yeah,
just little right in the face. Just get tail slapped like a bitch, and that's it. And so yeah, you guys brought up ninja. That wasn't even one of the jobs they talked about.
No, I know. I want him to just gut the fuck out of Triple please.
He was being so tame about it before.
Yeah. Warrior is something they mentioned. Don't touch my warrior.
No, so if anything, you should be happy with what they're referring to with warrior. Warrior, they seem to more specifically be referring to the you know how they made the changes to Dragoon based on, skill gap? That seems to be more along the lines of their intentions with warrior, is to reduce the skill gap between an inexperienced warrior and an experienced warrior.
I mean, I don't want them to do that because I like warrior being challenging.
Well, too fucking bad.
Yeah. I mean, if it makes it more accessible to more players, that's that's great. I like it as it is. I like that it's very challenging. It's a high skill cap tank, but
yeah, it's high. It is a high risk, low reward kind of. That's the thing. It's high risk, low reward, but if you fuck up, you lose like hundreds of DPS as warrior. Like it's very akin to the problem Dragoon had before they made it a joke like it is now. Slyh, don't even give me that look. You know it's true.
I'm agreeing.
That is exactly the issue.
I'm agreeing with you. So after these adjustments, go ahead.
My percentiles will appreciate it, I suppose. They're all over the place because you have one little mistake and suddenly.
Yep. Pretty much. So warrior, I don't think it's a Slyh. I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah, warrior. But after this, how many people are gonna see go back to black mage after this?
I'm curious about what their ideas are for that. So they said adjust things like black mage DPS. More specifically, in the unofficial translation, they made mention to mobility.
Again,
so
how many people are going to go back to black mage?
Well, it depends because it's all about numbers. Them saying one thing and us not seeing the result of it right away is impossible to make a judgment call on that. For me, I imagine triple cast have a shorter cooldown for one thing. That seems like a really easy way to do it. But potentially manipulation having a shorter cooldown as well. I don't know if they have any other intentions. Like, everyone thought Surecast was going to make it so you could move while you're casting that one ability way back.
1.0.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So there's always that possibility. But it's going to come down to, numerically speaking, well, what do the improvements do for it? No one can possibly know that at this point. So they just have to constantly adjust it. I, of course, want to see Dark Knight get some love. Every job has
Yes.
beaten Ultimate at this point. So just saying Dark Knight
Yep.
beat Ultimate and was in the first group has no relevance of whether or not I want to see changes to that job.
Oh, absolutely. It's perfectly fine, but it could use some love.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Being fine and being, like, satisfying can be two very, very
Yes.
different things.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. That's another one the chat recommended. Fire 4 being 2.5 seconds, like the same as the global cooldown, basically. So you don't so people aren't just using triple cast for a DPS increase, which is what they're doing now.
Yeah.
They already got like a 1200 spell speed buff back at the beginning of 4.x when they got like 0.2 seconds shaved off of Fire 4. That was huge. If they do that again and bring it down to 2.5, that's massive. And then, but if you do that, the triple cast is there strictly for when you need to move, and that
That'd be good.
Is a huge
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
Dark Knight, man.
Fixed Dark Passenger.
I know a lot of monks who don't like me for like not really being begging for monk changes, because like numerically speaking we're very high. It's just that the job hasn't changed in 4 years.
Yeah, it's very, very, very much the same.
And tackle
It
mastery.
didn't change like at all.
No.
So-
We got an extra 30 potency on shoulder tackle. That's it's quite possibly the biggest change. I mean, we got damage utility now. It's only physical damage for some reason, because, can't possibly have something that gives everyone damage. Ninja. Can't possibly have something that gives everyone damage. No, only the physical DPS. Yeah, no, I don't think you can. I don't think any other job could possibly have it. Only every other one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Only every other fucking job that has like vulnerability pluses. You got crit. They got trick attack. Machinist got hypercharge.
Fucking trick attack.
Swear to God, Tate's gonna hate us.
I mean, I've been playing a lot of Ninja recently, and it's just making me hate it.
I'm leveling Ninja now just because
It's so fun now.
It's for me. It's no fucking different. Like I played it from 2.4. I played it through Gordius. All right. I don't.
You're a
I got
strong
bad.
man.
I got bad memories of this job. Okay. Like
Yeah, it was.
I played it through Gordius Savage. All right. So I've got some not 100% memories of this job right now. Yeah. So those job adjustments. We'll know more about that in the 4.2 version. We know Yoshi P loves showing off Black Mage, so knowing him, literally the live letter will start. That's the January 19th live letter for those job adjustments. PvP updates. Merri.
I'm sorry. It's just.
He's just like,
Hello, Burn.
I'm so sorry. They keep trying, but it's just. I'm already having like 20-minute rival wing queues.
That's because everyone got their gorillas already.
Yep.
Yeah. So first of all, they are talking about the feast first, which is, a mode people play.
It is.
Occasionally. A new map, which looked great. It was a replica of the Crystal Tower as a map.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, it looks cool.
I like how they said, we have a Gridania map, we have a Limsa-looking map. Fuck, we'll do the Crystal Tower.
Crystal Tower.
Yeah. I'm still of the opinion
logic place to go.
that they can use some of the front lines in Rival. Like, you can use the middle of the Rival's Wings map as a fucking feast map if you wanted to.
You could.
Minus the caves underneath. That might be a little problematic. But, like, there's so much potential, but I still like that they went out and made another original map for this one. Rule revisions. Now, they actually go into greater detail on that a bit later in the second half, but there's a lot of little rule revisions that are being made. Personally, I still want to see rank degradation if you don't play, which they've mentioned in the past.
Please.
Biggest
That's one of
problem.
the reasons I don't bother.
Yeah, because once the people that are at the top are at the top, they just don't need to play anymore.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Right.
They get whatever rank they want, and then that's it. If you're not there early, then you should have got there early.
Yeah.
And PvP team registration, which it's basically the equivalent of a free company for 4 to 6 people. It has its own chat. It has its own, which you probably still can't use in the feast. I swear to fucking God, if you can't use chat in the fucking PvP team registration feast, it won't make any sense. You know this, those people, it's the same fucking 3 to 5 other people every time.
Don't work around it by using Discord.
So we're going to take away your ability to talk to each other so you don't ruin them.
I mean, to be fair, you're probably on Discord or something if you're playing with the same 3 to 5 people.
If it's a team, if it's something team like this, they're going to.
But it doesn't matter because you still shouldn't have that restriction in the first. Like at this point, it's a matter of principle that they shouldn't. I don't like the restriction on any of the feasts. For this, it would be flat out dumb. Just dumb. Tim Burton's Dumbo. Like that's it. Did you know he was doing a Dumbo? Tim Burton. He's doing a remake of it.
Yay!
That's about the best reaction you're gonna get out of me.
Yeah. Speaking of Dumbo, announce amount.
Oh yeah, that better be the announce amount. It better be a small elephant with big ears.
Yeah, flies. With
and it
ears.
flies. I will be depressed, like Facebook sharing sad memes or sad posts, kind of depressed if we don't get Dumbo with the Ananta for the mount.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
It says a team chat will be available, but that's like their own chat channel, like a free company chat channel. So I'm just hoping you can use it while you're in.
Probably.
That. Yeah, I fucking get on Discord anyway. Ranking update based on individual rate. Yeah, okay. We'll get into the other thing. Oh yeah, and then as a little footnote. Oh yeah, we'll also be making further adjustments to rival links. Little footnote there at the end that they decided it was worth. It was worth throwing in there, I suppose. Yeah. I guess.
Rival wings.
All right, next is glamour. Okay, so a lot of the glamour system and inventory updates, again, they're going to go into that in the second half, so we should probably wait until we get to the second half of the thing. Housing updates, we already know about, more plots and a new system for buying the houses, but they're not going to announce those till basically the live letter or the patch right before, or the patch notes right before the patch itself. So you're going to be in the dark on that one. Subaquatic voyages, which is basically just the free company crafting thing that you'll send out and forget about like 12 hours at a time.
Yep.
Yeah. Performance action updates. It's going to be up to 4 instruments now, and mayonnaise is not one of them. Sad to say, mayonnaise is not one of them. This is my first thought when they said that. Is mayonnaise an instrument? No, Patrick. Mayonnaise is not an instrument. What was the other one he asks about?
Horseradish?
I think it's horseradish. So. Yeah. There you go.
Why do y'all know this?
Why don't you know this? What kind of childhood did you have?
He's older than us.
So? People still watch SpongeBob at his age? Watched.
Did you watch SpongeBob, Sly?
You liar. SpongeBob is the best anime that was on TV when I was growing up. All right.
Shut your mouth.
And I know you watch anime.
Shut your poor mouth.
This is the best anime. Okay. So yeah, and on top of that, they made a UI specific for it, like one with a keyboard with a controller and for the gamepad and for the keyboard.
People are still probably going to use the MIDI keyboard though that they have that most like some of the really good perform artists are using right now.
Yeah, dude, it's still amazing.
Yeah,
it's still incredible. They're also going to be... So the 3 new sounds are all stringed instruments, and they're going to be making it so that the delay between pressing a button for perform and hearing the sound is even shorter than before. So you can more accurately put together your songs.
That's cool.
We already know about Mendacity. They're also going to be making adjustments to the 2 main scenario roulette dungeons of Castra Meridianum and the Praetorium. And it seems like the whole group is going to have to decide to skip a cutscene as opposed to just individuals being able to skip it. That seems to be what they're implying.
That's cool.
And out of worry of people then never doing the main scenario roulette, they said they're going to increase the rewards from it.
Cool. I'm down.
Yeah. I'm okay with it. I'm perfectly okay with sitting there for that because it means I can get up and go make a sandwich like 8 times in Castra Meridianum and Praetorium.
8 sandwiches.
I'm gonna make 8 sandwiches. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do as soon as it goes live. I'm gonna put like deli meats on my desk and I'm literally gonna make. I'm not even gonna eat the sandwich. I'm just gonna make the sandwich every time we get to the cutscene.
Put a piece on for every cutscene.
Yeah, no, I can finish the whole sandwich. I can finish the whole sandwich.
Well, take your time, get it just right, so it's like the perfect sandwich when everything's said and done.
Yeah, you got a good point. Yeah, listen, chat's like if it's like 5 million experience points, like if it's like because I think it'll probably be worth more experience than our current alliance roulette if they're gonna make people sit through cutscenes. If that's the case, I'll fucking do it. No doubt.
I'll sit through two sets of cutscenes.
I mean, you'll have to sit through way more than that.
Play them twice.
10 cracked clusters, maybe cracked crystals. They throw cracked crystals in there. That was way to ruin the market on that one. There we go. But then as soon as everything's 70, fuck that, you're on your own. Like at that point, I'm done. That's done.
Yeah.
Adjustments will be made to the hidden canals of Osnair. Maybe they'll be less hidden, less bullshit to try and get into. I have to imagine that's the change, is to get them less bullshit to actually like get the map that gets you into the hidden canals.
Yeah.
Mm.
I almost wish that the map would just send me to the Aquapolis instead. Not even Dragonskins, just like I'm in the canals and they send me to the Aquapolis. You enjoy playing the game at level 70? Well, let's get rid of all those level 70 skills.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And they're going to be making it easier to level crafters from 50 to 60.
Doesn't affect me.
It doesn't. It's like it was so easy before anyway. I mean, it's easy now. It's just...
Yeah. I mean, it was a bit of a stretch. I mean, I feel like 60 to 70 was a little bit easier. You could spam a lot more. Like 50 to 60 was a little bit meh.
Just slam dunk those leave quests, man.
Yep.
You run out of leave quests. Maybe they're just assuming for people who are out of leave quests. Or they'll make leave quests more valuable or collectibles more valuable. Like, what do you do to make 50 to 60 faster? Like, Moogle Beast Tribes? Maybe just the recipes are worth more? I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably.
We'll find out.
We will find out, but not yet. Alright, so then they went into the second half of the live letter and they went into more specifics for each of the stuff. So the rule revisions for the feast was the first thing. Match length reduced from 8 minutes to 6 minutes. Supply box spawn times will be adjusted. I think other translations say decreased. No. The offensive and defensive supplies are gone, but the other supply boxes are still
Yeah.
Culling time, duration, and stack increase rate will be adjusted, probably faster since it's a shorter match. Accumulation rate of adrenaline gauge will be adjusted, probably increased since it's a shorter match. We know the offensive and defensive supplies will be removed, and also when you die in the feast, instead of respawning back at the base, you'll respawn temporarily invincible where you died. So your team doesn't have to run all the way back to the base every time the healer dies. They can kind of hold the ground. They're still going to run the fuck away.
Yeah, that could be really bad depending on the invincibility, because you could just raise up like really far. If they push, after you die, you might just be screwed.
And they can't just hold the point with a dead healer. So
that's I don't know how that's going to turn out, but we'll see.
I'd even like it if it was like halfway back to the base and supposed to all the way back at the initial spawn. I'd
like on the bridge or something.
Yeah, because at least that way you're back on your ground and not so much in the middle of the map. Because what if you pushed all the way up into theirs and you died?
Yeah.
And
then they push out and you're like, well, guess I'm stuck.
Yeah, pretty much. The good news is, though, with the changes to the medals, you might still be okay even in that case. So
that's true.
They're making it so, depending on your role, is the maximum amount of medals you can hold. So a tank can't hold more than 200 medals, which is, I guess, probably... I was going to say that's probably the biggest change, but I don't know that it is, because I don't know the current feast meta and, like, the medal priority. Melee DPS can hold 175, range DPS can hold 150, and healers can hold 125 max.
Now, will they adjust the stacks with this?
They have to.
Yeah.
The question is can healers only have a maximum of 2 stacks, for example, while tanks can have all the stacks? That's the question there. The more important thing with the stack buff, though, is that if you have less medals than you started the game with, you take less damage. So if you kill a healer and then the healer gets up, where they spawn with full MP, TP, all that shit, they're going to take less damage after the invincibility's gone anyway. So that's why I'm wondering if it'll be that bad to spawn. Because as soon as you die, you lose half your medals. Like if a tank has 200 medals and go back down to 100, then they're back down to being normal, pretty much.
Right.
New meta: let your healer die.
You get your healer dead 3 times, right? And then that's it. And then as soon as you can
heal a healer.
As soon as you can win the game, the healer picks it. In Feast it's not so bad to kill a healer. But,
Yeah.
It's still, it's pretty bad. And then the ranked team matches, which they're going to use for esports. They're going to invite like the highly ranked teams to tournaments. What are you gonna be a highly ranked team, Merri? Because you just
I want to go to tournaments.
Okay, so who are your teammates?
You guys and Ethis.
I thought you wanted to go to the tournaments.
We're gonna do it
because that means
we're gonna have a training montage and everything.
A training montage, and then get our asses kicked at the end of it.
But then we'll have the underdog healing, story. Right?
Who's the healer of us 4?
You.
Fuck!
Just like San Fran.
Thanks, asshole. For anyone who doesn't understand, at the media tour when we were doing the dungeon run through, these motherfuckers made me go healer both times.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Man, I would love to play another job. Does anyone want to play healer? No. Fuck you then.
I can't play healer. We would have died. I can't. Ask anybody.
Layla got to play tank and samurai. He got to play samurai and red mage, and I had to play white mage and Astro.
Them lilies, though, right?
I felt bad.
Right? Them lilies,
though. Can't heal.
I hate it. Who was our 4th? Brian?
Brian.
Yep. Yeah, Brian. Yeah. He tanked once, and DPS, I think, red mage the other time. Alright, fuck you guys. Anyway, we're going to lose if I'm our healer, so I hope you're ready to not go to the tournament. Alright.
I believe.
Ranked matches will not be held at all times. Which is that thing they mentioned at some point where they said if you want to raise in rank, you'll have to be participating during basically designated ranked match time. I still don't know how I feel about that. Because if you're someone who literally has a schedule that doesn't work for whatever schedule they have,
scheduled,
then no. What if you work?
Have a schedule that doesn't work?
What if you work the nights? So all of a sudden you're a great PvPer and you work nights, so you can't fucking participate? That's bullshit.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's rough, but I feel like it's a necessary evil.
I don't
either.
I don't think there's any reason to do it this way. I understand you want people to feel like... So the main reason they gave is they want people to be able to separate their time for PvE and PvP. But what if the time you've assigned for PvP is all someone has on a night, and they're good at PvP, but they like the PvE, now they're fucked. That's it. You've just ruined...
Or maybe that's their raid hours.
Those are their raid hours, man. I don't know.
I think it's a bad idea.
I think it's a bad idea too. I think having times where it's encouraged maybe is okay, but not exclusive times. Or if you don't play during this time, then go fuck yourself. It's just I don't know. I just don't agree.
I think it's in prep for like tournament style PvE. I mean, eventually once we get to that point where it's not an event and you're just doing tournament style PvE, from the luxury of your own home. PvP, excuse me. You're going to have designated times to show up. And if you don't show up, then, it's not like you can schedule a time to do a match.
I understand it from that perspective, but they're just talking about playing against other people, period, using this system. I can understand if they were doing like an online tournament, for example, and it was like you signed up in the game itself and the tournament takes place during that time. That I totally understand. You can't...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
There are tournament styles where you can make it so that you have to play your matches between certain times. And I don't mean like show up and be there. I mean like play all of your matches and determine the winners within this 2-day time frame, for example. That exists. But obviously, at some point, the tournament has to have a set. Like this is when the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like within the game there are ways to do it that are more convenient than the way this is being structured right here. So good luck to everyone who's trying in that, and hopefully it doesn't fuck you. In some way or the other. And then other than that, they just talk about how team matches, team ranking. There's nothing really of note, especially when compared to the next thing they talked about, which was the glamour system update. Sly, I think you muted yourself.
Transmog.
What?
Transmog.
Transmog.
Sort of. Not entirely, but sort of. So the new glamour system is going to, from what we understand, exist on top of the current one. So if you want to use the current one still, you can. However, this will exist in addition to it. And for me, it's 200 free inventory spaces, as far as I'm concerned. So basically, you can trade an item in your Mog House and turn it into a commode, or a toilet, as we are all calling it, because that's just what the community calls it.
Flush them glamours.
Flush them glamours, man. And the system that holds the commodes can hold up to 200 glamours. So you can, and when you transform the item into a commode, it's in there. It's not in your inventory anymore. It's in the glamour thing. So that's its sole function. You can take them out of the toilet if you want. You just get a little net and fish them out a little bit. It's a little soggy, but it's perfectly okay. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so you can use it as storage. You can use it as actual glamour, and you can make up to 10 different sets that display the gear. Still role restricted though, which was a big question a lot of people had. But they can be macroed as well. So if you want to macro the changes, then go back and forth like crazy, feel free to do that. You can ensemble specific parts of a set of gear. You can apply regular glamours. You can separate the dyes per ensemble. So if you want to have the exact same thing 10 times with 10 different colors, you could do that.
And then just macro and swap, so you're like a crazy rainbow.
Macro it so that every time you use a different skill, you change. It wouldn't work in combat, but I would, if it did, that's exactly what I would do. Like when I use Elixir Field, I'm yellow, and when I use like Shoulder Tackle, I'm red. I would do that. That would be the best use of glamours. There you go.
Yeah.
And then certain items, such as those that can be stored in the armoire, do not need to be converted to glamours, meaning anything that can be stored in the armoire is automatically in your glamour commode and doesn't need to be turned into it, so it doesn't take up the 200 spaces, which is a nice little addition, in a sense, to that. So what do we think of this system in a vacuum? Like 200 maximum items go in there, 10 sets total. What's the thought process?
Good start.
Good start. That's
good start.
All right. That pretty much sums up what I was going to say.
Yep. Step in the right direction. Free up some slots for me, please.
I like the fact that since the old system is going to be there, it's going to be really convenient because, like, let's say, people who have, if they play all 3 tanks, it's like you could have just your armor period glamored for like your paladin, and then you only have to use 2 of your 10 slates for Dark Knight and Warrior, because when you're on paladin, you can just have your normal glamour, and then if you're on Warrior, you swap to your Warrior one, Dark Knight, your Dark Knight one.
Yeah, so, and you have the same thing for Red Mage, Black Mage, Summoner as another example, or
you don't need 3 slates for 3 jobs. You just need 2 because 1 can just be your normal appearance.
There you go. And then you could just have some silly shit that is just like for videos, for example. There you go. There you go. Yep. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think it's a start. And it's a good start. There's a few drawbacks that would exist. The drawbacks that would exist with this only would exist if the old glamour system were to be removed simultaneously. Yep. Then it would have been concerning.
Major. Yeah.
Yeah, because with only like 10 glamour sets, 15 combat jobs, 8 crafters, 3 crafters. Yeah. And people do glamour their other crafters and their gatherers, believe it or not.
I do.
Yeah, see? So, would have been if Sly's like, what?
Yeah, you don't want to look like garbage when you're making hamburgers.
Are there even hamburgers in this game? Oh, your look doesn't answer my question.
I would think not.
That's for me to know. You to find out later.
That's the hot scoops he got is hamburgers. Still no fucking peaches, but we got the hamburger.
I need to know the stats on those hamburgers though.
It's meat. It's got to be physical DPS stats on meat. That's how it's got to be. Don't do that.
Got them.
You couldn't even get the word muscles out. You couldn't say muscles, biceps.
Well, I was gonna. Never mind. Let's keep it going.
That's it.
Burger boy.
That's what you call your bicep, the burger boy?
The burger.
I'm gonna love the audio only version of that, where they hear you go to say it and they just hear a crash. It sounds great without any visuals. It sounds great audio only. It's gonna look great as well. All right. So yeah, that's gonna be the Glamour system update. So that's basically 200 free inventory slots right there. Next up is the duty recorder, which I'm half interested in, half it's not enough kind of guy. So basically it allows you to record an instance and then go back and play through it and, check the different perspectives of everything and whether go back, strategize, record, whatever it is you're trying to do. It just allows you to revisit your adventures inside of instance duties.
It's game tape.
It's game tape. Now, the thing about these recordings is they're not actually recordings. They are basically what the game does, and it's not the only game to do this. There's other games with similar functions. It basically looks at all of the actions taken and strings them together in order to make what appears to be a video recording. It replays all the actions when you press the play button. So for that reason, it's not a video. It's not going to save locally into a folder as a video or anything along those lines. If you want to do that, press the play button and hit record on OBS or mirrorless action or something like that. First of all, everyone in your group needs to give consent, and you can only do it in pre-made groups. You can't do it in random duty finder groups. And parties must meet the minimum size requirements. That means you can't do unsynced. You can't waste spaces on this on something that's unsynced, pretty much.
Right.
You can take screenshots. You can view the enemy's perspective, change the speed of the replay. However, you cannot record it in slow motion because it's not a video. Slowing down the actions becomes more difficult than playing it.
I mean, but you can pause it though, right?
You can pause it.
They did pause,
which stops the packets from sending. But slowing it down apparently would cause issues because of the way that I just described it before.
Yeah.
In a sense, it's a simulation of recorded actions. And then that's it. I mean, it's got play, pause, 2x speed, 4x speed, focus target, hide HUD, help, group pose, idling camera. It's got chapter select based on pulls and phases and shit like that. It seems pretty good, but it's something I realized very quickly I'm not going to be able to utilize in everything I want to.
Yeah. No, I agree.
For example, dungeons. I mean, I could pre-make the dungeon, but I can only hold 3 of these at a given time. And I don't know... It's going to be really good for getting tank perspective and healer's perspective on mechanics, specifically for videos, but still, there's going to be something lost. I'll have to use normal footage in accompanying this stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff that I wanted to use it for was undersized and only a few people. And if I can't have, if I need a full party of 8 people to record Titan Extreme, well, it kind of ruins,
Yeah, you can't use it for something funny that you would have preferred to have done with less people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Anything you would have preferred to have done with less people, it won't work for. Pretty much. You'll still have to do the, turn off, press scroll lock and remember how to do everything while the camera is off kind of deal. Or while the HUD is off kind of deal. Still, it's a nice thing to have. They've mentioned this for a long time now, being able to go back and review VODs in-game and stuff. And it'll be a nice functionality, I feel.
Now you can be all right, who fucked up?
Who fucked up?
Let's watch the replay.
Let me leave this instance, go to my in-room, go to the point in the record, because that's what you have to do.
Just to see where you fucked up.
You have to do all of that to see to use it for those reasons.
I think it's a step in the right direction. When I saw this, I thought immediately of Layla's analysis videos.
Yeah,
the little 2-hour ones that he does, after he's done a tier of Savage. Yeah, this would be perfect for that.
It could. I don't know. Well, yeah, actually, I think, it is better. It is better for something like that, definitely. And then the last thing was inventory updates. We're not getting the normal inventory increase. However, we are getting the saddle bag.
A beast of burden.
Yes, so it's a chocobo. It's basically a saddle that sits on your chocobo that has 70 inventory slots. And those items can't be used. They can't be used in crafting. They can't be sold on the market board. They exist in a separate subculture of items, pretty much, away from everything else.
It's as good of a tackle box as we're gonna get.
I'm gonna rename my chocobo tackle box.
God.
Just rename your Chocobo Tackle Box.
I was hoping you weren't going to go there.
Of course we were. If he didn't, I was.
Yeah. We've been wanting it forever. And it'll work. It's not ideal, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. To be fair, your Chocobo doesn't do jack shit anyway. They had to make it do something.
Yeah.
He used him as a healer Chocobo, like, for doing hunts that are a higher level than me, and that's it.
Yep.
And so the only thing is, you don't even need the Chocobo out to access them. You just can't access them inside Instance Duty, so it's probably going to be available in the companion menu, even when he's not out. Yeah. But like I said, you can't use them for anything. You have to remove an item from the saddlebag before it can be used in any way. It's storage only. And even if your Chocobo is stabled, you can access it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how the fuck that works from a lore perspective, but from a practicality perspective, I'm okay with it. Magic. Yep. Same way we swim with a fire mount. Magic.
Yeah. Same way you swim in full plate.
Yes. Don't sink. Magic. That's it. You could explain everything with magic. So overall, the latter half was a bunch of stuff people have been asking for hardcore. A complete revamp or an addition to the existing glamour system. More inventory spaces. And on top of that, the glamour thing basically counts as even more inventory spaces. Mm-hmm. In a sense, to some degree. But only for
Stacks to 999.
Stacks to 999 is a big one. My ether, I still have 1,200 ether tickets.
Yeah, that's gonna be great.
I have 145 crack clusters. That's now just one item slot. You know.
Yep.
Only thing I'm worried about is selling shit on the pots and food.
Raiders
and shit.
Selling stacks of 999 potions.
Yeah. Now I can't wait for the. I don't think they'll let you. I don't know. I don't think they'll let you.
Yeah,
sell.
I don't think they'll let you go.
Not.
Yeah, that far.
I think your inventory will be registered up to 999. I think the auction house will stay at 99.
Probably.
Yeah. Imagine if they tried to go to 999. It would be so broken.
Then you'd see shit on sale, like stacks of stuff for like 12 mil.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. There are times where I'm perfectly okay with the idea. But that, you know how people kind of like have this thing where they just decide I'm just gonna sell a full stack and they don't like break it apart and shit. Yeah,
yep.
I don't need that for half the shit that's there. Yeah,
I'm gonna go buy 10 food. Oh, just kidding. It's 999.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. I don't need that issue existing even more than it does now.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, with all those things, really the only major the Hildebrand thing isn't even a disappointment. No one fucking cares. But anyway, nobody's like, oh no, Hildebrand's 4.25. Whatever will I do?
Yeah, I don't. Whatever.
They're like, all right, it's 4.25. What
Yep.
Okay, it'll take me an hour to do regardless. So I'll just do it then. And then you have, and then the only real big, I guess, disappointment for people was Eureka being 4.25. Question of how much work there will be.
4.3. Excuse me.
Yeah, they're planning it for 4. They're aiming for 4.25. Just like they were aiming for 4.1 and then aiming for 4.15. And then aiming for 4.2. There you go. So we'll see what actually ends up happening with Eureka. It's unfortunate that it won't be at the live letter on January 19th, but at least we know it'll be at the live letter February 10th.
It's gonna turn into a bar accessory before long, boys.
Let's see. Okay, sorry, I just saw something real quick. All right, so yeah, I mean, other than that, there wasn't really too much other than the Starlight Celebration with Macrimma Bear.
Yeah,
big boy.
Yeah, Merri, how did you celebrate with your bear? Did you?
I got it, and then I haven't really ridden him since.
Yeah, you haven't chucked presents at people. You didn't.
Not really.
Every S rank I go to. Every S rank I go to, people just throwing presents. I noticed that motherfucker's he's throwing a curveball, too. He doesn't throw it straight. It, like, curves and then, like, lands right in front of you. Motherfucker's got an arm.
He used to play on the Ulda.
He's trying to think of a baseball team. Yeah. He wanted to come up with a name for the baseball team.
Yeah.
And he just got nothing.
Nothing.
No, he was on the New Grid Cubs.
New Grid Cubs. Most literal team of, like, is this where animals, like, there's, he's
on the Bears.
He's on the Bears. There you go.
The Bears.
He's on the Chicago Bears. See, that's an easy joke But you were trying to go for the original.
Yeah, I was trying to go for something like...
You didn't throw a football. Your odds are you want to throw the football straight.
You don't curve a football. Jesus.
Hey.
Imagine that. Dude, I'd be pissed if someone did that. He's on the Uldon potatoes.
They don't expect that.
Oh, wow.
You curve the football?
The Ulda Ursas. There you go. There's alliteration there.
There you go.
I'll take that, man. It's good.
Yeah. And then I don't know what you'd call the New Grid Cubs. It can't be Bears on every team. It could be. It could be
the Guadanian Grizzlies.
There.
Wow, that's good. I like that.
Boom.
I like that.
What's the Limsa ones then?
Limsa losers.
What are they? They the protagonists in an upcoming movie or something?
Yeah.
It's an upcoming baseball movie where they're all shit and they somehow win in the end.
Mm-hmm.
They're
the underdogs, movie ever. Just like our PvP.
Somehow the Wolves came.
Sorry.
Somehow the Wolves came from the Locks or whatever. Well, no, from Yangja. The Limsa Lupines.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's Wolves
That's
playing
racist. You're saying the Lupines are like bears? Come on, dude.
No, the Wolves. The Wolves from Yangja.
I wanted a name for them, assuming that it was an all-bear league.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's the problem with your little response right there. Listen, I don't even have to care about the presents. I got Casper here.
Big boy.
Fucking big. Why is he in a box?
Because he likes it. He's like a cat.
He's like a cat. If it fits, I sits.
Mm-hmm.
I say it's so creepy that he's see-through. You guys don't see it unless you look on the stream. It's just like it's mad creepy.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
He is Dwayne.
No, he's Casper because he's only partially see-through. So that's why he's Casper. There you go.
He's like got Dwayne inside him.
Giggity. It's a new Jumanji movie. All right. Or Rampage, whichever shit movie you want to refer to. Anyway, on that note, though, I don't think there were any other happenings over the time. I mean, we had Heavenstern that was confirmed for New Year's, which we
dog helmet
with the Doge helmet. That's a pretty nice helmet, just in time for the glamour changes.
Good meme.
Good meme. Yeah, it's the Doge helm. Everybody likes the Doge helm. Can't wait for the Doge helm. I know it's on the dev track.
FanFest.
Yeah, FanFest. I already got my hotel room.
Yes.
Me too.
For November. I tried to book a flight just before we started Stay of the Realm today, and the last day that is available for me to start looking for flights is November 14th, which is the day.
Same for me.
That I'm flying in, but I need to wait like 5 days so I can book the return flight.
Yeah.
And I also got to book it for 2, since I'm pretty sure Mel will be coming with me, as she normally does.
Cool.
I want to try going to one of the other ones too, though. Paris would probably be the other one. It's just they didn't give dates for it yet. And I definitely can't book that shit out. It's all the way in 2019, probably early 2019. So I want that though. I'm excited because that means in 11 months we get to talk about the next expansion.
I know. It's moving so fast.
For anyone who's new to 14, FanFests are exclusively for the sake of expansion reveals and details regarding said expansion after it's been revealed. But America always seems to go first, so we get the announcement of what it's going to be called and like the highest level. Like, hey, there will be new jobs. We're not going to tell you what they are, but there will be new jobs, and we're like...
And we get part of a trailer.
And we get part of the trailer. We don't get the full trailer. We get part of the trailer.
We'll never be last or the second.
I'm convinced we'll never be last. We'll never be last. They're gonna keep taking turns between Europe and Japan. It's gonna keep being that, man. The thing, and I'm
sorry, NA community team.
It's not their fault. It's not like they say
I know, but they got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, you do.
Oh, we believe in you.
We'll be talking soon. I'll be talking to you all soon. Not you two, them. I mean, I'll talk to you two soon also. Who knows? But we gotta start figuring out everything for the next one. People don't know this. I held a little private shindig last time. Private shindig. Where I interviewed LBR and then lost all the footage. I interviewed everyone, but the LBR one was the one I spent the longest time doing. And I
I remember.
I lost all the footage.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
It was good. There, and then somehow it got lost.
For me,
it got lost in transfer.
It's good for me.
I had a nice serious interview with a Nero, like the normal Nero, not the I'm raging
LBR.
Nero. And then I asked him to at the end of it do the LBR Nero, and he went crazy, and I lost all that.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Sly learned how a bidet works. It was great times.
He sure did. I wonder what he's going to learn about this year.
There's no bidets in the Rio.
How do you know?
We stayed in the Rio.
Well, yeah, you already learned about the bidet.
I didn't stay in the Rio. For the last time, I stayed in a different hotel that wasn't the Rio.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You weren't in the Rio the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no bidets in the Rio. Thank God.
You don't have the same room I have. How do you know? You probably don't have the same type of room I have. What, did you ask them at the front desk? Excuse me, do you have any bidets here? Do you have any bidets here? No. I don't believe in wiping. There. That's what a bidet is for!
I know.
Now you do!
We still gotta dry your... Alright, well...
There you go. It's alright, Sly. I'll look out for you. I'll warn you when I find out. There you go.
Right.
The real buffet is not that good. Okay, I've had the real
buffet. It wasn't all that. Let's be honest.
Yeah. I'm not going to Hooters in Vegas. Especially because we're off the strip and I don't feel like going onto the strip to get to the Hooters.
Is there much around the Rio?
No.
Not really.
You gotta take a shuttle.
You have to go a mile.
You're probably gonna end up eating at the buffet
not even a shuttle
by default. There's a shuttle.
There's no shuttle.
You gotta walk a block, but there's a shuttle.
No, they discontinued the shuttle.
Oh, well then you're fucked. There was a shuttle.
Yeah.
Do they not have like a bunch of stuff like the Paris does?
No.
No.
It's off the strip. It's got the buffet. It's got the casino. It's got a few other things, but not much at all. So it's not going to be like the Paris where you just walk outside and you have like a million choices. You'd have to go over to the strip. It's not far, but it's more of an effort than it's worth considering how long you'll be spending inside of the hotel itself. Anyone who's never attended before, hopefully have a good time. The Rio venue was okay last time. I was a much bigger fan of the Paris one.
Do you think it's going to be a bigger venue or like a bigger hall, I guess, now? Because last time we were.
I don't know. I don't know what other halls they have.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have multiple halls. I don't know if there's one bigger. If it's the same space, we don't know. But I'm looking forward to another fan fest, especially because there's probably gonna be people there that weren't there last time. Like I know Larry's going to this one. He's never been to a fan fest before. So it's gonna be a good time.
But it sure is.
On that note, I think we can wrap up this show and just be wondering what the fuck we talk about next week at this point, because I don't know.
Krum.
What do you mean talking about Krum? What show is that?
We just talk about what we did for Krum.
Slyh, that's like an 8-minute show.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
We'll figure something out. Who knows? But anyway, thank you everyone for joining us this week to talk about the live. Let's do this before my fucking green screen completely disappears and becomes static electricity and stuff like that. So, Merri, why don't you tell them where they can find you at?
More about me?
Yeah. Where they can find you at.
You can find me at very_Merri on Twitch, Twitter. Follow my Twitter for memes and fun stuff. Also, YouTube. I've been putting out virtual reality stuff.
VR chat.
Yeah.
I put out a new video today. I'm at the health inspector, Mr. Ed.
Oh, no.
It's a good time. But yeah. I stream. I do YouTube. I post memes on Twitter. Not as bad as Fold, so.
To be fair, there's not many that could possibly be as bad as Fold.
You're right.
No.
You're right.
All right, Slyh, what about you?
You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Slyakagreyfox. You can find me on Instagram, Slyakagreyfox07, Twitter @Slythefox, YouTube.com/thevelvetroom. Something people didn't know about. We do something on Primal. Well, on Behemoth, we do it on Behemoth, but we do something for Primal called Velvet Room Raids, where if you haven't done anything, if you want to get something off of your clear list, if you want to practice a fight, we do it every Friday, 8 p.m. So if you're on Primal and there's something you want to get off your clear list, practice, We're here for you. We got you.
I did something like that. I needed one A12 Savage book for my ninja daggers because I had no daggers to level with. So I just grabbed random people from the chat and we had to like learn a little bit of it, but it was pretty fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, and then I guess Sly usually transitions to me, but he says "fuck me" this week. Anyway, so
yeah, they know where they can find you.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, they know where they can find. This is what not Casper looks like. I'm just holding him up to the screen right here, and hopefully frightening the small children at the very least. You can find me, Mr. Abby127, at Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, same name, all those places. I will be at FanFest, like I said. And I want to attend the Paris one as well, but I don't know anything about that in particular. I've got other stuff in the works as well. I got Dauntless right now. We got all the stuff at the end of January. He's starting to slip down. Let me prop him up real quick. And then in January, I'm actually competing in a Dissidia tournament. They're throwing me, number one Alex, and Slyh against a bunch of like actual fighting game community people in Dissidia, and we're gonna get our shit pushed in, but it's gonna be a good time. That's my expectation.
Nice.
That's my expectation at the very least. Yeah, this was my glamour back in 2.4, my ninja. That's all this is right now.
You're right.
It's a fat chocobo glam. All right, but on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna move on over into the post show. We just have to thank our sponsors, of course. So let me grab the list right here, since I have it in a tab. All right, there we go. I got it in a tab right here. So we got to thank our sponsors. They have helped us combat hashtag demonetize over on YouTube and make sure we never need to delay content on that platform, especially State of the Realm, because of the little stupid yellow $sign that says, "Oh, you may not be suitable for all advertisers." Because I do this, I say, "Fuck." Anyway, that's it.
I got that today.
Hashtag, yeah, I know you did. That's another reason why I'm bringing it up. So we have our standard sponsors. We have Merida, Mackenzie, we have Eadric Redsteele and Exodus, Lexxie Valentine, Mantaru the Rivivus Free Company from Zodiark, Marshtechy, Sour Cream and Chives, Rynoet Chikara, Ellisan Le'ore from Balmung, Yoshi and the Reckless Tea Party Free Company on Tonberry. For some reason, it's missing on this list right here. Goetia Valefar of Siren, Jean-Francois Hersh, Fersh, Faerie, Serren from Zodiark, and Phoenix Down Free Company on Goblin. We also have our elite sponsors, Kakazuma, Valestra, Fanfrit, Noct Cordis from Excalibur, Ignis Fairgun from Diablos, Era, and the Avon Blanc Free Company on Zodiark, Krovos, Moonscar, Nakunami of Balmung, Jenova, Odin of Tonberry, Spike, Rudy Rudiger, Obaidil Shamsi, Private Mikey, Aqua Sacrifice, Nadia Kirasame, Khuja Cross of Jenova, Killer Hackman, Raul Jr, Kiltastic Jones, Arthur Mill Gaming Bishop, Dark Light 2013, and Tin Colossus. So, thank you to all of our sponsors.
Thank you.
For keeping us
Thank you.
from having to delay the show on YouTube because of hashtag demonetized, because I just guaranteed it right there. And we're going to move on over into post-show on that note. And we'll hang out there for a few minutes because I'm actually not feeling 100% right now. So I kind of want to go lay down. So thank you. And thank you, Merri, for joining us this week as well.
Thanks for having me.
And we will see you guys next week for whatever show we can possibly think up. So, okay, bye. Goodbye.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
Also, Kyoshi, by the way, is supposed to be on the elite list. You are correct. This is out of date for some reason. So I'll fix that. I'll fix that right now, as a matter of fact, but in the post show. So bye-bye, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
All right, we good. You know what's funny?
Slyh. What?
Whoa, that was...